Listen now, we the talk around town. Alex threw the ball to Smokey for a touchdown. It's fourth down and you don't really want no more. We've been winning from the door. You should check the scoreboard. Check the scoreboard.
Welcome back to another episode of The Scoreboard. We're entering the most important phase for a lot of teams in the NFL season and the regular season as the finals or the playoff spots are being contended for. I'm looking specifically at one matchup here that we're going to talk about towards the end of it. I think you all know what I'm talking about. But we have a lot of good games, looking like a very good slate. And I'm looking forward to hearing some upset picks from both of you. Both of you being JJ, who's here again as our part-time, full-time guest, apparently, and Smokey. Smokey, how are you doing?
I'm good. Better than 49ers fans right now.
I'm doing great. You know what? I would have told you that, we're gonna get you back in the playoffs, but yeah, kind of, I don't know. Someone didn't hold up their end of the bargain there. I don't know.
To tell you the truth, man, it kind of makes me mad. Like I don't like it because either we should be winning or we should be trying to get a high draft pick. I don't get why the games that you decide to win are like the hardest games. Like you beat the Saints and the Niners and then you lose to everyone else. Yeah. Like what's up with that?
They also beat the Panthers, I believe, one week.
Twice.
Like why? Why would you do that?
It makes absolutely no sense. Why is the Falcons defense all of a sudden amazing?
Yeah.
Why?
Tells you how much of an underachiever that team has been the entire year. Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting.
Well,
how did our predictions go?
They definitely have the talent to be much better than their record. But
I'm pretty sure I did poorly.
Yeah.
How do we do?
Well,
sounds good. I like your tone.
You won, Alex.
Because I had the Raiders.
Okay. That's good. I like that. By how much?
By 1 point. You had 12, I had 11, and JJ had 10.
Bad. Not bad.
Actually, I didn't do that bad.
That's fine. I'll take 12. 12 is pretty good.
I'll take 10.
Any week you go over 500 is a good week. So.
Yeah, I want to say like more than 10 is a good week.
Yeah, it's definitely a good week.
Yeah,
but knowing how often I went against you last time, I'm honestly pretty happy with that.
Yeah. So how's the overall standings? Like 2-point difference? Is that correct? Am I seeing that right?
Yes, 143.5.
Dude, it's coming down to it for real. Like next week. It's gonna be, be interesting.
Do you just do regular season or do you also do postseason? I think
we'll do another one for the postseason. Actually, we'll also count postseason, yeah. But the regular season ends in 2 weeks, so that I definitely would still like to win. But we'll see. We have a lot of games and a lot of things could change this week. Let's get started. How about the Houston Texans at the Buccaneers?
This is a tough one. This is a very tough game to pick right here. Because on paper, you would say, the Texans are better than the Bucs. I mean, overall, just a better team, more talented team. We have Deshaun Watson versus Jameis Winston, so obviously the Texans are a better team. But that's not exactly how the season is playing out at this point in time. The Bucs have been on a roll. They've been really good, and Deshaun Watson he's set to break some records this season. And touchdowns, passing yards possibly, and interceptions thrown in one season. So, being at home, man, that makes the Bucs even. I mean, the edge is going to be that much more, but I want to go with my heart and say the Texans on the road for this one.
All right, JJ.
So, I'm not going to do the thing where I talk up the team. I'm not going to pick so much, and it almost sounds like an upset pick. So I'm just going to be straight with it and pick the Texans.
You pick the Texans. You're going to be boring.
Are you saying that's what I do?
Well, you do that all the time.
You do, yeah.
You sometimes do that with, like... Okay, like, this time it makes sense, right?
You kind of do, right?
But you do it sometimes with, like... Yeah. It'll be like the Browns versus, like the Patriots, and it's like... Well, I mean, the Browns did well last week, and
the Bengals have really showed some resilience here, man. They're fighting for the young head coach. I might take him over the Chiefs. I don't know. And then later you're like, nah, I'll pick Kansas City.
Let me tell you something. I used to be, I was a pro wrestler for a period of time, and that's the first thing you learn when you're cutting promos is to talk up your opponent. So when you beat them, you look that much better. Yeah. Or if you lose, you look like you lost to a powerhouse, and you should have lost.
Yeah, fair enough.
I never attack legitimate criticisms. Always just do the superficial stuff to the faces because if you start pointing out the real flaws, they look less like fixes.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I recall a couple of them there. If you hit back in the old days. I'll go with both of you. I'll pick the Houston Texans. Buccaneers too inconsistent against a team that's still looking at the playoffs here. Jameis Winston is set to lead the league in yards thrown, potentially in touchdowns and interceptions. All three of those stats, he's in the top 3 right now, which is tough to imagine, but it's actually the case. And I'm going to ask everyone by the end of the season, by the way, is Jameis Winston a good quarterback or not? And you can start breaking your heads over that already if you want. People have been doing that with Ryan Tannehill for like 5 years, and I think Jameis Winston is the next one to have that sort of question about him. I'll take Houston in this one, though. Bills at Patriots.
Now, JJ, you're not going to like this, but the Bills are really good this season.
Oh, boy. There we go.
Why would... What? I never said anything else.
Because he's hyping the Bills up again, but he's going to end up picking the Patriots.
Oh, right.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
you're not wrong this time.
This is completely legitimate. I mean, I'm not just spewing rhetoric here. The Bills are really good. And Josh Allen's having a decent season. But the Pats defense is probably has the edge over the Bills defense, and that's what this game's going to come down to, is defense versus defense. And the Pats are at home. As much as I want the Bills to win, because I am a huge Bills fan and I hate the Pats, I have to pick the Pats for logic at home.
The Bills defense is in fact not quite the Patriots defense,
but they're top.
But they are pretty good. And guess what? The Bills have an offense.
Yes, they do.
That is something that the Patriots do not have.
That is correct.
Well, I guess the Patriots have Julian Edelman, but you know. So I am actually gonna, and that's why I don't necessarily disagree with you talking them up. I'm gonna actually pick the Bills.
Wow. I love this. I love this pick, JJ, and you know that Smokey and I are both, because of our more, I want to say, expert statuses, are both not going to be courageous enough to do it. So I'm also picking the Patriots just to take that away.
Also, to be fair, I'm completely out of contention for any sort of competition here.
Like, it would be insane to pick against Bill Belichick at home at Gillette. That's just you don't do that. You just give away a free point. You never do that. Mm-hmm. Says common knowledge. But this is the worst Pats team we've seen in 10 years, perhaps. So.
Maybe so.
Oh, offensively at least.
I was about to say.
But overall, that still tears it down quite a bit. And you notice that Gronk isn't there. Man, you notice it. You really do.
Yeah.
Nothing has been the same. So I'll take the Patriots. They'll find a way somehow. Josh Allen, to me, is still sneaky fourth Pro Bowl quarterback choice in the AFC, maybe, if he finishes strong. But I like the Bills. I hope they win. Would be amazing if they somehow took the division. But I don't think they will. I pick the Patriots. Rams at Niners.
Hey, guess what? Both these teams are coming off losses.
Yes.
Just wanted to point that out. Hey, the Rams still mathematically have a chance, but I think that game may have been the nail in the coffin for their playoff hopes.
They have a chance if the Vikings lose out, right? Is that correct?
I think so. Yeah, something like that.
Because the Packers, Seahawks, Niners have clinched. I know that.
Yes, exactly. And doesn't look good for the Rams right now. So I don't, at this point, I mean, I know I made a prediction earlier that there would be 3 teams getting in there, and I don't think it's going to happen now. But it's still possible. They're going to be fighting for it. The 49ers are going to be fighting for it because they have not clinched yet either. They need one more game to clinch.
They have. Niners have clinched.
Have they?
The Niners have clinched when the Rams lost, yes.
Oh, okay. I thought they needed one more game. All right.
No, they're done.
Okay, well,
they haven't clinched the 1 seed, but they have the playoffs.
Yeah, well, they should still be fighting for the 1 seed, I would hope, because you definitely want to bye, right? I mean, you don't want to have to play that game. So, got to go with the 49ers on the road. I think the team may be a little more motivated this week than they were last week.
Well, so here we have a team that just lost to the Falcons, who, I mean, as much as I don't want to rub it in, really aren't that great this season.
We also lost to the Falcons in an even worse way this season.
I love it.
I wasn't saying rubbing it in to you. I was saying rubbing it in for Smokey because the Falcons are bad.
Yeah.
I was trying to do the hype up thing.
He's got 2 wins so that he can at least
beat both your teams. Take that.
Yeah, at least that's
JJ.
it. Yeah.
I mean, both of your teams beat my team. I don't know what I'm even doing here. But I was like, alright, we also got you once, I
Yes,
believe, right? That already
yes.
happened. Yeah.
Thanksgiving night, we watched it together.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that one.
That was a fluke.
Matt Ryan is a mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
That was a fluke.
What's your pick, JJ?
I was trying to hype up how bad the 49ers are for a second here,
All right.
because then it sounds
So
more
you're gonna
impressive
pick
when I
them?
pick them.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. The Rams just gave up 44 to the Cowboys.
I know.
I think that's end of story. We know the Niners played by far their worst game. That was the definition of playing down to your competition. I mean, my God. And Kyle Shanahan said it too. Like he said before the game, this is the Falcons' Super Bowl. And if it isn't our Super Bowl, we're going to get our butts kicked. And guess what happened? Completely underestimated.
He was
did
right.
not take the game. Yeah, they didn't take the game seriously, which you really don't like to see. But at least I'm glad it happened in the regular season. And they clinched the playoffs anyway. It's better than it to happen against in the playoffs first round or something. So with that being done, I don't think that's gonna happen again. They have to look. They can barely look worse than they did in this game. It was awful, but I believe they're gonna beat the Rams because the Rams have looked very up and down and tending down recently. If you take that much from the Cowboys, you might be in for a rough night. They are at home, which doesn't mean too much. Last time, no, the Niners are actually at home, but last time when the Rams were at home. It was actually 51% Niners fan attendance in Los Angeles, which is sort of the tough thing that Los Angeles fans generally have to deal with, or teams rather, the Chargers and the Rams, of not really having a home field advantage in any way. So yeah, I'll take the Niners too. They're fighting with Seattle for the division win and the 1 seed, and they're tied up right now, so they'll have to win both games. They can't just rest any starters or something like that. I don't think they're going to do that. Because they're going to be fighting for the 1 seed, so they're going to be playing for real, and if they do, they should be able to win the game.
Speaking of LA team attendance, I've recently heard, and I'm not sure if this is a current stat, that the Chargers by far have the lowest attendance at their games.
Oh, for sure.
In the entire NFL?
Yeah, they're notorious for that, yeah. Absolutely. How about Bengals and Dolphins? And we looked forward to this as the Tank Bowl of the year early on.
Yeah, it still is, right? I mean...
It kind of is, yeah.
Is there? I mean, maybe Skins and Bengals would be a better tank bowl,
Yeah,
but
Redskins Giants or something.
yeah. All right, well, let's do it. This is gross, but Bengals suck, and Dolphins suck less. So I'll take Fitzpatrick at home.
Can't argue with that. JJ, what do you got?
He should stop doing this. I think this is the 3rd week in a row, but I'm picking the Dolphins.
All right.
I think this legitimately is the 3rd week in a row that I'm picking the Dolphins, by the way.
It might.
And this might be the first time that they actually do it.
It might. It's fine. I'm going to pick him too. I mean...
No, this is the first time that I'm picking them. I believe that it isn't a bad idea.
This game is, that's true. This game is so tough to pick because they're both so bad. Like, it's almost uninteresting. But I'll take the Finns. I think they'll get the win somehow, and the Bengals are going to get the first overall pick. Joe Burrow just won the Heisman. He might come to Cincinnati.
Oh, I bet.
Be an interesting situation. I'll take the Dolphins. Moving on to the Steelers and Jets.
Oh, well, these are 2 adequate defenses and 2 horrible offenses going at it. Steelers probably have the edge in the defensive department. Jets have a great run defense, though. Probably not going to see a lot of Connor in this one. If you do, I mean, it's not going to be for much. Let's go with Steelers on the road because both these teams suck.
I would argue that the Steelers suck less right now, although the problem with the Jets is that every now and again they have their moment. You would think that if they're going to have one more moment this season, it will be this game. But I'm going to go with the safer pick of the Steelers.
All right,
here.
I'm going to go against the grain.
I bet you are.
Steelers, by the way, you said the Steelers suck. I mean, they have turned into a playoff contender from sucking early on in the season.
I think they're less than mediocre, though.
Yeah, I think they are pretty much mediocre. I think that pretty much hits the nail on the head, actually. Like, mediocre is a good way to describe them. The Jets are just wildly inconsistent. Like, they'll put it onto the Cowboys, and then they'll somehow lose against Miami and stuff. So I think you're right that Pittsburgh probably has more talent on defense and generally the more talented roster. But Ducky Hodges is coming off 4 interception game, which was terrible. He's getting the start, but I'm gonna pick Jets. I'm gonna rely on Sam Darnold once more to just shine. And this is one of the games where I think he's going to flash that elite talent and just somehow manage to pull out a win against a tumbling Steelers team. It's not likely, but it just feels like this might be one of the moments where he just takes over. How about the Giants and the Redskins? That's another tank bowl.
Tank bowl, of course. Where do we go from here? Is Daniel coming back? Do you know?
It seems like, yeah. I mean, they gave Eli a standing ovation and kind of celebrated him out of the stadium. I would assume that Daniel Jones was starting, but I don't have confirmation.
But the ovation may be just because he's not returning to the stadium. Or
does it make a big difference though? Is my question in return.
I don't think at this point. No, I don't think it does. I mean, they don't have the talent on offense really to make a difference whether it's Eli or Daniel. But the Skins, maybe they have something in Dwayne Haskins for the future. I mean, obviously he's played horrible this year, but he seems to be getting better week by week. And with Daniel coming off the injury, I'm gonna go with the Skins at home to take this one because I think they have a legitimate shot.
What do you got?
Wait, if I'm not mistaken, that means that Eli might finally be actually done.
Done.
And he's once again perfectly 500, correct? Right? Because of course he had to, right? Like,
he had to. That you can't finish your career of Eli Manning without being exactly 500. It just wouldn't be right.
Because before the Dolphins game, he was one down, and
it's just not right.
That seems sad. Like, you know, like, oh, he gets his last career, so like
it has to fit.
Basically, in the season that he isn't even the starter anymore, and then he loses.
So what do you got?
Right, I was just making a point here about statistics, but for this particular game, I do have the Redskins.
All right.
And just for Eli's perfect 500, I'm hoping that he's not the starter.
I'm making it interesting. I'm making it interesting once again. I'm picking the Giants. From a prediction game standpoint, not the most clever thing for me to do. If I should just pick everything you pick to make sure I win, but that's not how I roll. I want to beat you by more than 2 points. So I'll pick the Giants. I believe Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is better than Dwayne Haskins. Both the teams surrounding them suck, very much so. I think Eli Manning and Daniel Jones could both win the game, so it doesn't matter too much who actually ends up starting it. Giants come off of a good win. Granted, it was at Miami, against Miami, but the Redskins are no better than Miami, so I'll pick the Giants. How about Panthers and Colts?
Jesus, JJ, the Saints went out there and mollywopped the Colts. They skull dragged them up and down the field.
And the Colts are out of playoff contention, and you can no longer win our bet on them, which looked very outlandish when they started, like 5-2, but then finally they ran out of luck. They noticed that they had run out of luck before the season even started.
Yeah. Poor Marlon Mack. He can't get anything going at this point. And that was a great offensive line at one point. They took a dump on the field at some point this season and rolled around in it. But in this game, the other team has fallen apart even more. And Kyle Allen is not the savior of the team like we thought he was. So I think the Colts are shooting for 8-8 this season, and they're going to take this one at home.
JJ.
I want to say they're not shooting for 8-8. I mean, they might be trying, but...
I mean, that's all they got.
But I feel like they're not going to get it, was where I was trying to go here. And I think them not getting it might just start losing to the Panthers. I'm going to take the Panthers here.
Tough.
I'm going to agree with JJ, man, because Will Grier is starting for the Panthers, and that's interesting.
Oh, I forgot that.
I absolutely love to see that. That's amazing. One of my favorite rookie quarterbacks coming in. I had him projected to go to the Patriots in the first round. Didn't end up that way. And I wanted him to start over Kyle Allen when Cam Newton was on it. Kyle Allen did a good job in the beginning.
I did too.
but didn't really seem to have most of the answers ready. So now Will Greer is going to get a shot, which is important. That's also the Panthers saying we're in full-on rebuild mode now. We're just trying stuff out because they got nothing to play for this season, which is understandable. And man, first game quarterback starter. If he's literally just not Nathan Peterman, he's going to have probably a pretty good game. No one got NFL film on him. He's been working in the shadows, so to speak, for almost a year. So I believe that he can pull this off, and actually also win me the bet against you for the Colts, going less than 8-8, which I would appreciate, because I believe there's a pizza or even a full meal on it. Which
wow, really?
I think so. Yeah, it was one of the bigger ones. I'll have to look it up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ravens at the Browns, or Browns at the Browns. Old Browns at new Browns.
Yeah. The team that literally took your franchise is coming back to town to stomp you out once again. And I have no
take
doubt.
Your dignity too.
Yes. That as long as Lamar Jackson is playing, the Browns have no chance in hell. Yeah. I don't see that offense getting anything going in this. Odell probably go 3 for 30 again. And yeah, I mean,
we'll have to speculate on what team he's going to be playing next year. That's going to start soon. The speculation.
Oh yeah, he already wants out of Cleveland for sure.
Oh, he wants out. Sure. Yeah. He's going to be out too.
But definitely going with the Ravens on the road.
All right, JJ.
Ravens next.
Okay, yeah, Ravens next. I agree. Jaguars and your Falcons, Smokey.
Well, I don't, man. I'm picking the Falcons here. But it's not that I really want them to win at this point. I want a good draft pick. But we're not going to get that.
You want a quarterback?
We're going to end up back at like between 10 and 14 somehow.
Yeah.
And
seems like it.
What we need is a superstar running back, but that's neither here nor there. For these predictions, I'm going to take the Falcons at home because the Jags are really bad at this point in the season. They have fallen from grace.
JJ.
I wouldn't necessarily say that the Jaguars are really bad. They're not doing too hot right now. That happens.
They're not as bad as other teams.
And you never know if you never know what kind of Falcons you're gonna get.
Yeah.
But it appears if the pattern is ending to follow that this game not being that important for the Falcons and not being one of the strongest opponents or division rival or anything like that, it seems like this is one of the ones that they're going to lose.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And again, Jaguars, maybe not as great right now, but you know, they're the Jaguars. They can beat the Falcons.
Yes.
Which is why I'm going to be a sane person here, and I'm going to pick the Jags.
A sane person. You mean an insanely biased person?
Yeah.
That's okay though. Quality of wins is a thing, especially in football, more so than any other game. The Jags just about sneaked out the win over the Raiders, and we know what the Raiders are. The Raiders are a
dumpster fire.
No, still not.
They're better than you think.
They're a fraud. They're awful. They're terrible. They're bottom 5. They're complete hot garbage. They somehow sneaked out wins at the beginning of the season. They've been exposed. They're terrible. Jaguars beat them. Gardner Minshew looked fine, looked average. Falcons beat the best team in the NFC, or one of the best teams in the NFC, which they've been very up and down. They beat the Saints, and they lose everything. They beat the Niners, and they lose all the other stuff. So you can tell that the Falcons, talent-wise, have a top 5 roster.
For sure.
Just you never know when you're gonna get it and when you're not. I'm gonna take the Falcons. I think they'll string 2 together here at home against an average-looking Jaguars team. Just taking the higher role. How about the Saints, JJ, and the Tennessee Titans?
I believed the hype last week. I'm not going to make the mistake again.
All right.
I'm going to take the Saints.
All right. You're going to be a sane person here? Take this. Okay. So,
yeah, I'm going to take the Saints on the road. I mean, the Titans look good from time to time, but I don't really think they have a chance. I mean, we saw what the Saints did to the Colts here, and the Titans are very much like the Colts, maybe just a hair better, but
they're better than the Colts.
They should mollywop them all the same.
I would tend to agree. Even though it's Tennessee, Saints should be able to go out there and win the game. Titans had a close one against Houston, but I doubt they're gonna be able to this year at least to live up to one of the better teams in the league. I'll also take the Saints. Raiders and Chargers.
I should pick the Raiders just to piss you off.
Do it.
No,
Do it. Give
no,
me the
because
point. I'll
I
take
am
the point.
sane.
I'm gonna take the point. Give me the point. Take the Raiders. Come on.
No, not at all. They're on the road too. I mean, the Chargers. Yeah. Oh man, speaking of quarterbacks on their way out, a lot of people are starting to talk about the rumor that Phil is done.
Yeah, they were.
I don't believe
that
it.
tells you about standards though, because you remember that he and Eli Manning came from the same draft class, and if Eli Manning,
the same age.
Yeah, if Eli Manning were done when he was at the level that Philip Rivers said, now Eli Manning would have not started the game in the NFL ever. Mm-hmm. Because Philip Rivers right now is still better than Eli Manning by far.
Yeah. And what about Big Ben? Is he done?
He might be done though. Man, if both the backups start looking bad, it's gonna be a very open spot next year.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take the Chargers at home because this should be an easy win for them.
JJ.
I have actually heard an idea thrown around, and I don't think this is gonna happen.
This is where he stops being the same person.
I've heard people speculate that it would be sensible if, due to the Chargers potentially losing their quarterback after the season,
tank.
And a certain other team maybe getting rid of their quarterback at the end of the season.
Raiders?
No, actually, I've heard speculation, not necessarily this plan or anything, but the planets might align and maybe... What?
Breezes?
I was going to say Brady.
Oh, Brady. Brady
that the Chargers...
No way.
It sounds wrong, I know. But apparently that's something that someone has thought of.
First of all, Philip Rivers right now is playing head and shoulders above Tom Brady.
I get that, okay?
Yeah. If Tom Brady wanted to play for any other team, he'd wanted to play for the Niners,
49ers.
Which he's not going to.
I think...
Because Garoppolo's also playing head and shoulders.
It's more likely he ends up on the Raiders than the Chargers.
I don't think Brady's going anywhere. If he can't play on the Patriots anymore, he's not going anywhere. I don't think he'll play. But
it would be fun to see him go to the XFL just because.
Oh, dude, the XFL, yeah.
Also, just, again, that's one of those things that would just...
He probably would, yeah. I mean, you think so, because most of the guys there are like, the quarterbacks that come in are usually like the undrafted rookies that just didn't make the NFL.
Yeah, that's
experience.
True. But also
usually used by young players to try and get up there, not really.
Also, would be great for their headlines though. Would get them a lot of eyes.
Oh, absolutely.
Where was I going? Oh, right.
You had to make a pick.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna do the thing that you don't like, and I'm gonna pick the Raiders.
You pick the Raiders. Yeah, Smokey, I'm gonna be with you here. The Chargers should be able to win this because the Raiders are
a fraud.
Better than
They're terrible. Think. They're awful. They're absolutely hot garbage. They suck. I'll take the Chargers. Lions and Broncos.
Man, David Blau. Talk about an XFL quarterback. David Blau is probably headed there. And
he might.
Our homie Drew Lock didn't look that
They do
great.
have another draft in January.
Yeah, after the NFL drops players. Yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
So, Drew Lock should get going in this game. He didn't look that great. Not at all in this past game. But this should be an easy win over one of the two worst defenses in the entire NFL. Drew Lock should put up some touchdowns. Cortland Sutton, watch for him in the end zone in this game. Maybe some Noah Fant also.
Fantasy tips there. Good stuff. JJ, what do you got?
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with the overall assessment here. Yes.
Yes. That's your answer. Yes, agree. You said he didn't look good. Yeah, no one looks good when compared head-to-head to Patrick Mahomes as in their second career start. That's a little bit unfair, but yes, Drew Lock is a better quarterback. I like Drew Lock. I believe in Drew Lock. I think he's good. And the Broncos are a better football team. They're at home. They're going to win the game. Not much to debate. How about the Birds and the Birds? By which I mean the Cardinals and the Seahawks.
Man, this is not going to be good for your Niners getting the 1 seed.
Trap game.
Think the Cards are going to Seattle and beating the Hawks?
The Cardinals have played extraordinarily well within their division.
For one,
except for that one game, I think at St. Louis or the LA Rams rather.
Yeah.
They've almost beat the Niners twice. So.
Well, they have, but Seahawks is. I think they're more adept at guarding running quarterbacks than the 49ers.
They're faster, more athletic rushes. That's true.
Yes. Seahawks at home, because it would be kind of dumb to pick the Cards, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do pull it out though, because crazy things like that happen all the time.
JJ.
Well, I mean, you said how the Cardinals did pretty well against the Niners, but they didn't end up winning.
They did not. It was close.
And this is one of those situations where maybe it goes that way again. But I just can't pick the Cardinals to win.
Nope.
I could pick this game to maybe be close.
Yes.
But I'm picking the Seahawks.
If a lot of things go right, I can also pick it to be close. But I'm trying to beat Smokey in predictions, and I'm not going to go out there and just because I want it to happen. I'm not gonna put my chips on it to happen. I have to pick the Seahawks because they are heavily favored and they're just a better team. Now this is the one. This is the big one I've been talking about, and this is the lousiest, most important game we've ever seen. Probably Cowboys at Philadelphia for by far the worst playoff contender spot this year. Who's going to get the honorable butt kicking in the wild card round by like the Vikings or Seattle or something?
You know...
Wait, you mean the Vikings or the Niners?
Niners possibly, yeah. Maybe the Packers, any of those teams.
You know what?
Sorry, I was just...
This
Go ahead.
Miles Sanders looks amazing right now. He just had a breakout game. And he was rushing all over the field. Cowboys are going on the road here. This is a real tough game to pick. If Amari Cooper's down, which I think he may be, Michael Gallup's not a bad backup, but that's Dak's safety right there is Amari Cooper.
Yes.
That's where you attack the Eagles, is through your X receiver. I'm going with the Eagles on this one. At home.
JJ.
It's a tough pick,
That's
but I think they got them.
It's a tough pick. JJ.
I don't know what to think about this. This is
Nothing good.
These are such mediocre teams. Why does one of them have to make the playoffs? Well, anyways,
because the way that the division system works.
Okay, honestly, I like the division system, and I have a solution for all the problems.
All right.
Rebalance the divisions. And obviously, since they're geographically
what do you
split,
mean rebalance the division?
Since they're geographically split,
Yeah.
you can't really move the teams around too much.
Yeah.
Move some AFC and NFC teams around.
But that's not going to be a permanent solution, though. Because this division, like 3 years ago, was one of the strongest, for example. The NFC West sucked. Like, teams vary too much.
This system that we have right now was the solution, because I remember when the Saints and the Falcons were in the West with the 49ers.
Yeah.
And that
doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, exactly. But I think there should only be two divisions in each conference myself.
That is an interesting idea. JJ, what did you pick anyway? Do you make a pick?
I guess I'll pick the Cowboys. I don't know.
I hate everything that I am about to say with the
He's picking the Cowboys.
He is.
I hate every word of what I'm about to say, but I've brought it up, so I have to stick to it. Quality of wins. I just can't pick an Eagles team that struggled mightily against the Redskins and the Giants to survive games against bottom of the barrel teams.
What about a Cowboys team that got blown out by the Jets?
But that was like 6 weeks ago. They just destroyed the Rams.
They did.
And the Rams are an above average team, and they destroyed them. The Cowboys have a higher upside than the Eagles. Like, if both play at their best, the Cowboys are much better than the Eagles. And I think they just end up having more talent that can translate in this game. If it doesn't go that way, I'd appreciate it. I'll gladly be wrong on this, Smokey. You can have this point. I'll give it to you if the Cowboys lose. But I just can't pick them. It is in Philly, yes, but I just can't pick them. I can't do it. I hope for it in a way, but I can't do it. I just don't believe it until I see it. So I hate that I have to do it, but I have to pick the Cowboys. Kansas City at Chicago.
Well, did you see that Mitchell Trubisky is publicly calling out Matt Nagy?
Yes.
I'm here for this. I love that because I think both of them suck. So I would love for them to call each other out. And maybe one of them could improve their game. I don't know. Chiefs on the road. There's no way the Bears are winning this.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are an easy pick here.
Yeah, Chiefs have a much better the Bears have a much better defense.
I was about to say the Chiefs do not have a better defense. That's a lie.
I don't know. You saw what the Chiefs defense did to the Broncos.
Huh? Well, yeah, as a rookie,
3
and
points?
it happens. The Chiefs' defense is not very good. The Bears' defense is good, but the thing is, I trust Patrick Mahomes to put up more points on the number 1 defense than I do Mitch Trubisky to put up on the 32nd defense. So I also picked the Chiefs, only sensible pick here. The Bears seemed sort of in limbo last year. We thought they were going to be really good. There were some of the teams that we thought might make the big leap into the elite of the elite playoff contenders. As a matter of fact, I picked them to win a division this year, I think. Aaron Rodgers taught me not to do that anymore, which I understand.
I tried to tell you that.
I get it, man. I've been preaching Aaron Rodgers stuff ever since I could speak football at all, like the lingo. I've been preaching Aaron Rodgers, don't bet against him, and I did it. Never gonna do it again because I learned my lesson this year. The Bears are terrible somehow, and the Chiefs are better. They should win the game.
Speaking of
the Packers,
and Vikings,
big game,
yes,
huge game, Monday night, prime time, lights are on for the division.
I'm glad this is a prime time game.
Oh, this is a great
They had to have flexed this at some point, I believe.
Yes, absolutely.
Which brings up the question, why is Chiefs-Bears at the Sunday night?
Not Cowboys?
Yeah, it should be Cowboys-Eagles, I would think.
It should be Cowboys.
It really should be.
It should be, yeah. I don't know why. You know what? Actually, living in Europe, I'm not going to complain because the times work out better for me that way. Because I don't care to watch the Chiefs and the Bears, but I really want to watch Cowboys Eagles. So
that's true.
I'm gonna just say that. But yeah, it doesn't make.
But honestly, it would be more fun to see Bengals Dolphins because it might be a close game, or even Ravens Browns because at least you're seeing the Browns getting destroyed. You know,
that is.
But like Chiefs Bears, it just sounds boring.
It just sounds like it sounds like not very exciting at all. But how about this one? Packers and Vikings.
You never bet against Aaron Rodgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm gonna bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
Here's my reasoning. The Vikings are fighting.
Smokey's trying to learn his lesson too.
The Vikings are fighting for their seed in the playoff. I think they haven't clinched a wild card spot yet, right?
No, because of the Rams are still in it.
Yes, exactly. So they need
the Packers have. The Packers have.
That's true. Exactly.
Yes.
And that's the reason I'm taking the Vikings at home because that's 2 factors pointing toward the Vikings in this game.
Well, you make a valid argument, but I have been taught do not pick against Aaron Rodgers.
You've been taught by 2 individual people who are both here, and one of them just disobeyed that rule.
Yes.
And so far,
and
it
the
served
other ones
me well.
Done it a couple times and lost.
I mean, I have, yeah.
It has served me well so far. I am just not going to pick against Aaron Rodgers, which, by process of elimination, leaves me picking Aaron Rodgers and thereby the Green Bay Packers.
You gotta pick him all throughout the playoffs too. If he has to play, like, say, at San Francisco, which is like the worst matchup for them, and they got destroyed in the regular season, you gotta pick the Packers.
I will then maybe reconsider it.
Special
but
circumstance.
so far it seems to have worked relatively well.
I'm gonna have to agree with JJ, man. I can't pick against Aaron Rodgers because I'm glad to play my odds and have someone prove me wrong by beating Aaron Rodgers, but that's sort of the beat me once, beat me twice sort of thing. I'm not gonna lose again by picking against Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is not gonna beat me. That's what you do. You take your opponent's best option away. I'm not gonna let Aaron Rodgers beat me anymore in predictions. So I'll take him, and if someone wants to prove me wrong, go ahead and then beat Aaron Rodgers. Shout out Aaron Rodgers. If you can do that, kudos. You deserve to win against Green Bay. It's going to be a close game. Very close game.
Yeah.
And I can even agree that the Vikings might have a slightly better overall team. Defense and offensive skill positions. But you know the rule. Can't pick against Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know if Dalvin Cook's gonna make this game or not, but
yeah,
they have Mike Boone out there. Look for him.
He looked good.
If you're in a deep fantasy league, pick up Mike Boone because
he looked pretty good.
That could pay off for you this week.
Absolutely, yeah. Packers though, and we disagreed on quite a bunch of games. This should be an interesting week, trend-setting week for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This could be if this
Make
goes my way really well, I'm going into the last week with a big advantage, and that would obviously be optimal.
Or you could go in with a big disadvantage also.
Yeah, it goes
well, but because he's up already a little bit, I don't think you can win enough.
I don't know. We
to really
disagreed
have
on
a strong footing.
Yeah, but
there's
a good chance that we go into next week tied.
Yes, exactly.
Or close to tied, and that would be the most interesting for outsiders. But I don't want any part of that. I haven't been wanting any part of that all season, basically, and I'm trying to keep it that.
It seems like no matter who you predict against, you always end it close.
Somehow it happens, right? Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, yeah.
Even when I picked against JJ back in the day when he didn't know football at all.
I wasn't watching football. I didn't know shit.
Fun trivia, by the way.
The only thing I knew was, like, the results of the previous weeks, because we talked about it.
He knew, like, the Patriots and the Chiefs were good. That's what he knew.
Wow.
I knew the Clowns were bad.
Yeah, the Clowns were bad. That's true. That's like
I learned that week 1. Well, actually, technically it was week 2 because we didn't predict week 1.
Right.
And I was leading the predictions for the majority of the regular season.
He did well. He just picked the favorites every time, and it did pretty well. Just
go with the Vegas odds every week.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I didn't look up the odds either.
Hey, those odds are set for
Alex
a reason.
told me not to.
You're definitely.
Well, I didn't look them up though. Like, Alex specifically didn't. Like, he specifically said, like try not to do too much research.
Yeah, just pick from your
and
just comparison thing.
I just basically picked the teams that had won a lot recently versus the teams that lost a lot recently. Well, let's pick the team that won a lot.
Exactly. And that worked pretty well. Can't complain. That was 2 years ago.
I mean, to some degree, I'm still having somewhat similar rationales, except that I kind of now know, like, okay, you just won against the Dolphins. That doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So to speak. Yeah. That sort of stuff. That is true. Games of the week I'm looking for here: Bills Patriots, gonna be hugely interesting. Low key the Jets against Steelers, and then of course Eagles and Cowboys. That's gonna be massive. I hope that game is at least quality wise watchable to maybe even above average in terms of play quality, but it just might not be. We know that.
I'm
one
liking
of those teams.
The Texans Bucks.
Yeah, that's an interesting call actually. The Saturday games seem very interesting. It's a very, very good slate. You're right.
It is, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to all of
those. The moment the college football season ends, they put games on Saturday. That's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
Put games on Saturday. I like it though.
Even though bowls are starting
I like
Saturday.
it.
Yes, that's true.
I also like the Saturday games better than Thursday.
Yeah, the Thursday night seemed like a bit of an outlier.
Because, especially, and Alex referenced earlier, being European, like, Thursday night game is tough if you want to get up at a reasonable time on Friday.
Oh yeah, because it's in the middle of the night.
Like, they sometimes end at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And, honestly, the game that I would probably watch if it weren't conflicting with the Saints game might actually legitimately, just for kicks, be Bengals-Dolphins.
Oh, the Bengals-Dolphins?
Yeah.
Who
sucks
that
more?
Sort of thing, yeah.
That's going to be a barn burner,
I mean,
man.
It's going to be a sad.
I might do something else on the side, but I would just kind of want to see what the frick happens there.
That's going to be a good one. I might have a look at it every once in a while. I'm also going to have a look at Will Greer, of course. Whenever a new quarterback starts, I want to see that, so I want to see what he can do.
I want to see what he's going to do as well. I love, as much as I hate Big 12 teams, I love Big 12 quarterbacks. They're usually very
as much as you hate the Panthers. Yes, true.
Yeah.
Not always though. You get some, but some are good.
Some of them are Mason Rudolph.
Well, yeah.
But which I thought he was going to be good. I mean, the guy threw bombs in college, over Oklahoma State. But
the 3-year rule to evaluate a young.
Say that again. It cut out for a second.
You know the 3-year rule.
Oh yeah.
Employed to evaluate young quarterbacks, right? So.
But that usually doesn't apply to Big 12 quarterbacks. I mean,
I made one exception for that so far. That was Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I was gonna say Patrick and well, I guess Baker, kind of. Yeah.
Well, not Baker, not really, because Baker had a good season and a bad season.
He did, yeah.
One that was above average right away as rookie, and then now it was absolutely terrible.
Kyler Murray.
And even
no, not Murray. Murray might suck next year. Murray might just go completely down the drain next year.
And for Baker, the thing is, like, even though he did have a pretty bad season this year, he had his moments.
Yeah. You have no idea how he's gonna do next year. So that's just that. And we'll have to await that. But definitely an interesting week ahead of us, and I'm looking forward to a lot of these games.
I told you at one point that Mason Rudolph is the poor man's Baker Mayfield, and he proved to be that.
Well, they played a couple. Again, 3 years, Smokey, at the end of next season. We're going to talk about this for the first time.
I think he gets another shot, though.
How many does Baker get? And he might. I mean, we'll see. Mason Rudolph is going to be...
He gets the
He's going to be on a football team.
I think he gets
the
Mariota, the 5 years to prove himself.
Is that what you want? I don't know.
Not necessarily, but I think that's what happens. They're keeping Freddie Kitchens, by God. What? Why?
We'll see. We'll see if they are.
Well, that's what the news is saying.
I mean, I don't believe it until I see it, honestly. Like, if they keep him with all the shenanigans he's pulled, how undisciplined that team is, and that goes back to him. Like, you can't tell me he doesn't. That starts with the coach, and that organization as it is right now is never set for success. So I don't see a reason to keep it, but we'll see.
The Browns have a legitimate shot at being good next season.
They had one this season.
I mean, but you know, if there's some more movement going on, and I think you said earlier about Odell likely leaving, which in theory seems like a bad thing, right?
It's not necessarily as bad.
But the thing is, it seemed like having multiple big personalities on a team might not be the best idea sometimes.
Yeah.
And that might just be good for Baker.
It might. We'll see.
Well, it was last year. I mean, he was doing well. And without he only had one of the drama twins there.
And when they were calling plays less so for personnel, but more so against specific defenses, they were doing better. The offense worked better without Odell. That's a fact.
Maybe Odell is the problem.
He might. I wouldn't. He might be part of the problem.
I wouldn't blame him specifically.
A lot of people in Cleveland are the problem. As a matter of fact, almost everyone in Cleveland is part of the problem. The head coach, the quarterback, the diva receivers, and even
every single person who enters the arena.
Even management who lets the stuff happen. The guests that Baker Mayfield invites to his stadium. That he has to clean up after in those commercials and everything. No. Everyone's a problem in Cleveland, and a lot of stuff needs to happen. Not just on one person, but on a lot of people.
I mean, to be fair, you said it before, the commercials are part of the problem.
The commercials are part of Baker's problem, exactly. So, it's going to be a tumultuous offseason. They might as well put him on Hard Knocks again. But we'll talk about that when we get there. For now, they're playing the Ravens at home, and they get a shot at a big upset. Which we all
no.
You know who really sucks, though? It's Adam Gase.
Adam Gase sucks.
How many stars became stars after he stopped coaching them?
Matt Moore, Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, Devontae.
Absolutely.
Parker.
I kind of hope that Sam Darnold finally gets a capable organization around himself.
He might be really good, but we'll never know under Adam.
He's really good. He is really good. Just trust your boy once in a while, man.
I thought we didn't want to judge quarterbacks yet.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge his status in the NFL, but he is a really good quarterback. He can
tell you what, though, I've given Adam Gase 3 years, and I can honestly say he
might have
sucks.
been too much.
Yes.
Or enough, yes. I do agree with that.
I remember when he came into Miami, and they were horrible that season. I think they had only won one game, and this was after midseason. Yeah. And he had them out there running Oklahoma drills right off the bat. And they win. They get that 2-game bump that happens to so many teams after Adam Gase came in. And then they lost out the rest of the season after that. And Adam Gase has been horrible ever since. The next season, they sucked. Season after that, they sucked. He goes to the Jets. Now they suck, which
awful.
It's not like it's a step down for the Jets because they've sucked for quite a while. But they were not bad under the opposite Ryan Fitzpatrick because they actually went through the playoffs with Ryan Fitzpatrick in a 10-win season.
The Jets don't have any more business being in that realm of sucky teams with the talent they are acquiring, with the quarterback they have in position, and the defensive players they have been drafting. So,
yes.
Something needs to happen there, and it starts with coaching for that team.
Yes.
I do agree with that. But a lot of stuff we have to talk about in the offseason. I can already tell. It's gonna be interesting. But for now, this is the week's schedule. Let us know your predictions in the comments. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Cowboys, Eagles. Who you rooting for? Who you picking? And can the Bills upset the Patriots? This is what we all want to see. Is it going to happen? Josh Allen against Bill Belichick. Is it doable? Let me know. I would definitely love to hear your opinions on that. So that in the comments, please. Drop a like on this video, and if you're watching on Beyond Football, check out Smokey's channel, The Trash Talkers. And if you're on their channel, come on over Beyond Football and subscribe to both of those. That'll be awesome. And until next week, I think. If y'all got anything to add?
Nah.
That's it.
That's it. All right, great. Thank you for watching, and we're gonna see you in the next one.
Deuces.